Alan Goto is helping me record this for June 12th of 2022, but we have a live audience. Thank you for being here. We are going to chant Ni Rai today, which is kind of celebratory, celebratory piece. Welcome, welcome. And besides chanting Ni Rai, we're going to be singing, what are we going to sing? We're going to sing Namo Amida Butsu, page 136, and do the Three Treasures as our devotional reading. I'm going to be losing the mask, which will please our non-Dodger friends soon, as soon as I come back from striking the Kansho bell. So thank you all for being here. Thank those at home. I thank those at home for viewing, and we will begin with the striking of the Kansho calling bell. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. I will now ask you to join me in Sutra chanting. Alan Goto will put it up on the screen for those at home, and for those of us here using the OCBC service book, it's on page 49. And again, this is a piece that's only used at celebratory events. Ni Rai, attributed to Nagarjuna. Keishu tenin shokugyo, Amida senryo zoku son, Zaihi mimeu anrako, Muryo bushi shu ineu, Onki shinjo nyoten no, Shamata gyo nyozobu, Ryomoku jonyaku shorenge, Koga chorai mida son, Menzen enjo nyoman gats, Iko yunyo ten ichi gats, Shonyo ten kukushila, Koga chorai mida son, Kannon shodai kanshuju, Shuju meiuto shogun, Nobuku gedo makyoman, Koga chorai mida son, mubi muku kothyo jo, shutoku keket nyokoku, shotari nyakutoku jizai, koga chorai mida son, jippo myomon botashu, muryo shomadyo tandan, isho shujo gon rikiju, koga chorai mida son, kontai hoken chi shoke, zengon shoujo meudai za, ohi zajo nyoten no, koga chorai mida son, jippo shorai shobushi, kengen jinzu shi onrak, sengo songen jokugyo, koga chorai mida son, shou mujo mugato, yakunyo suigatten yoro, ishu seppo mumyoji, koga chorai mida son, hi son buset mu akumyo, yakumu nyonin akudofu, shunin shishin kyo hi son, koga chorai mida son, hi son muryo ho ben kyo, mu shoshu akuchi shiki, ojo futai shi bodai, koga torai mida son, gasetten hi son kudoku ji, shu zen mu hen nyo kai sui, shogyaku zengon shoujo sha, eisei shu jo sho hi koku. Namandabu, 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 namandabu. Ganniya shikudoku, byodo sei ithai, doden vodai shin ojo on the koku. Namandabu, 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 namandabu. Namo Mita Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Mita Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. We don't ask you to stand in the annex. It's too awkward, so we're pleased to have you continue to be seated as we sing the Gatha, Namo Amida Butsu, which is on page 136 in the OCBC service book. After singing together as best we can, Namo Amida Butsu on page 136, we'll go back to page 10 for the devotional reading of the Three Treasures. So thank you very much for being here and for joining us, and we will begin the song on a count of three, as they say. I hope you help me out here. 1 and a 2. When life is fair and sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and flowers adorn our way, oft let us pause with grateful hearts to say, Namo Amida Butsu. even though our way leads 'neath a darkened sky, and to our loved ones pain and death draw nigh. Our tears may flow, yet trustingly we cry, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. This will be easier. We'll read the three treasures together, and you don't have to sing this one. Page 10, those who wish to, please join me after that first paragraph I'll do on my own. The three treasures. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can be truly relied on in life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path with my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become a Buddha. I rely on the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is as deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with a dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The unsurpassed, deep, and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter. But now I am able to experience and embrace it. May I come to understand and revere the true meaning of the Tathagata. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Well, again, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I will now deliver a Dharma message, and the title of the Dharma message is Learn, Graduate, Learn Some More, which is how it seems to go. Our service is in part a celebration of graduation, and we have several graduates with us, and we have a relative or two to receive acknowledgement for one of the graduates who could not be with us this morning. We have with us today recent graduates of high school and college, and we will speak of them more directly and speak to them more concretely and directly before we are done here. It is said that education is something you don't complete. And this is true, and yet one does attain certain plateaus, meaningful plateaus. High school diploma, bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, postdoctoral fellowship, Nobel Prize. Well, no one's got a Nobel Prize here yet, so we still have work to do. But these are real accomplishments, these are real accomplishments. I was working on an MA thesis. I worked on 2 MA theses, 3 I never finished. One I changed when I was working on Buddhism. That always happens, you change your topic. But 2 of them I never finished. One was on T.S. Eliot, the poet. And poor Eliot, he was a brilliant poet, I believe. But he was a real snob, And when he was teaching at Harvard, he was renting a room from a lady in Cambridge. And so he comes to breakfast one morning and says, well, I'll be leaving tomorrow by plane and I'll be gone for a bit as I'm receiving the Nobel Prize in literature. And his landlady goes, oh, Nobel Prize, yeah. My nephew got that in watercolors. Yeah. And as you might imagine, T.S. Eliot goes, there is no Nobel Prize in watercolors. And his landlady says, well, there is too, and my nephew got it. Now, you could just imagine if it was James Joyce. You know what James Joyce would have said? James Joyce would have said, well, and I suppose that some of the former recipients will be there, and perhaps I'll be seeing your nephew there next week. You know what? But Eliot couldn't take it. There is no Nobel Prize in watercolors. Yeah. Well, there will be one day. They gave Bob Dylan a Nobel Prize. It's wide open now. They called it literature. So what it is, I guess. He's a great songwriter. Now, we have exemplars of education. We have exemplars of education. We have exemplars of fitness and as exercise. When I think of exemplars of exercise, because the thing's the same here, is it's a lifetime process. You never finish exercising, you never finish educating. And when I think of exemplars of exercise, I always think of two people, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jack LaLanne. Now, probably half of you don't know who Jack LaLanne was, but he was quite remarkable. Jack died at the age of 96. 2 days before he died of pneumonia, he did his usual workout, which is something that, Shohei Ohtani could not do, Arnold Schwarzenegger could not do. Incredible, incredible. And he had all kinds of accomplishments, just ridiculous stuff. So, for instance, when he was 65, Jack LaLanne swam across, in Japan, Lake Oshinoko. He swam across the lake pulling 65 boats, each loaded with 6,500 pounds of cargo, while he was shackled and handcuffed. Now, I suppose Lake Oshinoko is probably a small lake, but even so, just ridiculous stuff. But he never quit. He never quit up to the day before he died. His last day, he had to rest. But 96 years old, he's out there doing exercises that most NFL players, most MLB players could not do in their prime. He was just incredible. Schwarzenegger is different. He's human. He is. And you may know he has heart disease. And I'm not sure where he is right now, but I forgot to look it up, but it was about a year ago he had another open heart surgery. And when he had his first open heart surgery, he was walking with a walker. He had to use a walker, Can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger with a walker? I don't know how long, a year, something like 6 months? And now he's there again. Maybe he's over it now, because it's been about 6 or 8 months since he had another valve replacement. But that's no matter what you do. Keep up your lifetime education. Keep up your lifetime exercise. But don't be unreasonable. Don't overdo it. The first time that he got the valve replacement, because he was a celebrity, Schwarzenegger talked to a doctor and found out there was a workout room upstairs. Day after open heart surgery, he went up pumping iron, blew the valve, had to be rushed into the emergency room. Yeah, so don't do that. He said he was silly to do that. But he is a lifetime fitness person, just as Jack LaLanne was. And I think we're all lifetime learners, but I'm not like him. No one is. With exercise, as with education, we don't ever exactly finish. Yet you do make real accomplishments, and you should find some genuine fulfillment in those accomplishments, in those peaks. And indeed, so far, no one at the Pasadena Buddhist Temple has won the Nobel Prize, so there's still more work to do. Like exercise programs, these educational programs can, in intent, continue endlessly. And in their potential, there can be endless forward progress with education. Now, this isn't all we're concerned with, the fitness and education, but it's kind of our focus this morning in what will be not an overly long talk here. Other concerns we have here in June of 2022 as Americans include maintaining a democratic process and decreasing the violence in our society. These objectives, too, like becoming fit, like becoming educated, will be ongoing and will require a lot of effort. Sometimes our intrinsically valuable objectives, becoming educated, become fit, preserve democracy and freedom of speech, decrease violence, increase personal freedom, sometimes these very goals, these very valuable goals, sometimes these aims and our efforts to obtain them conflict. The worst physical condition I was ever in was school year 1972 to 1973, my first year of graduate work. I didn't eat well, I didn't exercise at all I did was study. That was 1 year. Now, I ended up, I try not to count up how many years I did graduate studies. I can tell you it was in 3 different programs. But it seemed to go on forever, but it didn't. I finally got done with it. But I did, long before I finished my studies, learn to balance health, fitness, and studies. You learn to do that, but I didn't do it my first year of graduate school. Now, I am in favor of democratic process. We probably all want democracy and need to figure out how to keep it alive. But not all nations that are democratic weigh the tensions in preserving democracy in the same way. In Britain and in France, free speech is never inclusive of hate speech. The majority of Frenchmen and British don't understand why we allow people to say pretty much whatever they want, no matter what effect. Free speech is highly limited in France and Britain. Some of you know the group Roxy Music, singer Brian Ferry. His son Otis advocated the return of fox hunting. He wanted to bring back fox hunting. Brian married an aristocrat. And a local magistrate issued a restraining order saying, stop saying that. The people in this area do not want fox hunting brought back. It's a disgusting reminder of our past, of the class-based structure of our society. Stop saying this. And then Brian Ferry's son Otis wrote a letter to the editor at the newspaper saying, I think we need to bring back fox hunting. It's part of our culture. And they put him in jail for 4 months. 4 months in prison for just saying we ought to bring back fox hunting. So much more regulated there. And you may know an actress, some of us remember, Brigitte Bardot. She's been fined on several occasions in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $15,000 American dollars for saying things like, all these Muslims moving into our country are diluting our French culture. They won't. You could say that here. You can't say that in France. British and French people don't understand why we allow citizens to possess military-grade weapons. Who's right about these things? Who's right? It's our choice. And speaking to our young recent graduates, it will be your choice. It will be your choice. So choose wisely. Choose in the tension between our obligation to keep our societies safe and our desire to maximize individual freedom, freedom of speech, freedom to own objects with which to defend yourself and your family. Our graduates joining us this morning have made real and substantial progress in educating themselves. We count on them to continue to learn. Some of them will graduate again with more advanced degrees, and then they will go on to learn more. We count on you to try to keep a balance in our quest to balance freedom and security, democracy and responsibility, spirituality and material progress. We thank our graduates for their serious efforts and congratulate them on their very real accomplishments. May you each continue to learn and grow in knowledge and culture until that day that we all meet in the land of light. I will close the Dharma message portion of the service on that remark. I will turn around and say the Buddha's name a few times, and then we're going to have our special presentation. And I will need help of our temple president, Kathy Kumagai, on that. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So is Kathy still with us? Or? Yeah, she's going to come around. Now, Kyoko, maybe I need you to do this part because you know which is which. No, but you know who I didn't see him after you wrapped them. Yeah, so why don't you come up and present these. Kyoko and I are going to present Nenjus to the graduates, and BCA has provided a certificate with the bishops. So can you? Oh, good. Okay, can you come forward, Kyoko? Are right here. Mm-hmm. So I'll ask you to present the certificate. We'll have to have Kyoko present the Nenjus, and Lynn has a thank you from Dharma School. Okay. So we have 3 people presenting little remembrances to the 3 of you, and first we're going to ask for Douglas Ideno to be recognized for his bachelor's degree, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Thank you, Douglas, for your hard work.
From the BCA, congratulations.
Congratulations. Very proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your hard work. The next graduate that we wish to acknowledge is Michael Powers. I believe we have family. Do we have family today? Okay, we'll ask I will receive that for Michael then in a kind of symbolic way if you hand it to me. And we'll keep it here until the Powers family is back with us. Which university was he?
He's Arcadia High School.
Arcadia High. Oh, another one of those big fancy high schools that everyone says is so good. Yeah, I'll put that with it. I was just going to try to put with something to protect it. Okay, and last in this case, but definitely not least, Leah Meza, who has graduated from South Pasadena High School.
Here you go, congratulations.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you all very much. We're coming up to the actual conclusion of our service here. And the last act in any religious service in North America is announcements. And so the one thing I'll announce is that next week will be our Father's Day service. We'll be here. You're welcome to join us, or you can see us on YouTube or on the temple website. 10 o'clock next Sunday for the Father's Day service. Do we have any other announcements we want to make right now? Oh, yes. General cleanup is June 25th. And any of you who are not busy will appreciate you because a bunch of us are going to be gone. Kathy and Jeannie and I are all off at the district conference. I think Kathy Mikuni too. Are you going? No, you're not. Okay, so but we were going to miss some key people. So if you have a chance, Saturday the 25th, please come out for temple cleanup.
We have cake afterwards.
Oh, well, great. Yeah, I didn't know that. So there will be refreshments next door immediately after service. And unless someone else has something they want to announce at this time, well, that'd be great if we could, yeah. Sure. Can we ask Douglas and Leah to come forward? Kathy, you can hold the certificate for Michael, and then I'll kind of, if you don't mind holding that, that'll kind of, you can represent Michael. I think, who's, Lynn's going to do it with the phone? Well, then Lynn, you tell us where to stand.
Like it's in front of the altar.
Should we like go in front of it or like?
You can stand right in front of it. Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Right in front. Yeah, go ahead, go right in front.
Yeah, don't. We have to scosh up in our. Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take a couple. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, do you want us to take our masks off?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do one with a brief mask off thing.
You can see my mask on.
Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3.
You bet. Thank you, Kathy. So, I am like 30 seconds away from having refreshed the incense. If any of you want to offer incense, we're doing it the official way now, which is before or after the service, which we didn't know was official until about 6 or 8 years ago, but that's always been what the official way for Jodo Shinshu Nishio-ganji. Working it into the services is something we did here in the U.S. But so those of you who wish to, there will be incense burning. There's a little bit of oko here, and then I will see you next door for the celebration. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Da Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Da Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Da Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Da Butsu. So anybody who wishes to, please offer incense, and I'll see all of you next door. I hope. Thanks for coming.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you. That's a good one.